wanimu eti saa dom no abodi wanimu mpanimfo ya wahye dade kokromoti etoda kokromoti o no de ato aba no mayu mo se muni leaders no mun lead party no na se party bia so yi leader me gidi sabotaye si wani so ne se momfa ye nkonkunimdiem eti omo na message bi omo wo no e wo so omo ka Emma Ghana de hyetie nipa edi wachie no so obi kwoto aba wahu se enyina so nti e wo se me kwoto aba no enu nie minim ya sha afi ase na busua NDC amanyoko nya afi po omo hyase afi atwa muo ena chese building Ghana tour mampani dada John Dramani Mahama wonamua wo mu edu ba bia no wahome so edu ba bia na chese o makagagum wo mu de ne nkakra edi wasemu a wose Ghana fo nyina so no wonto aba ma wo no omude twidwa because NDC amanyoko nde nesa ukomu a panina wodi wani mu atwu franka de ama wo wayi wawie emrahye badwam so no empanimfo a wo besi wanamu ho so de wawie ena party ni leaders ankasa kra de ni owie ya che eti na ne aka ne yese masemu ne sen Ghana fo nto aba ne sen eno na wo so wode atwidwa ena mpanimfo no so se se won tutu anu ma ho mfa mekire obia emebisa saboa beni wo mo pese Ghana fo adwen no mo wo efa ne o mo hwehwe 2024 akiri no Ghana fo nka no onu mu twa manifesto nu a wode akom eti abusuan ne me nkasa enkwakiri ye wo NDC amanyoko num National Youth Organizer ene ani no esi adwa George Opayado uti pabula na chese National Youth Organizer ya wodi amanyoko no anim mabunu hihye ye ebo amanyoko no mu preparations ahuru nyina no Pablo Ewofia mesumi din de akua buachewe Adom JP uframi ABY amejo so ya de asedama Franco Trading Enterprise wadama enen niema wo ho na newie mu hye no de minim ba bi efiri Ghana pa kire se fi se mani fredi da bia na nse me ka se miminye obi anka minsuonyunu kura de nka nware ibida eso ese opo mpo bedware nsuonyunu wudi nsuohie no gu hu aho be hyewo ena wie bia agbo wo Ghana sei no sabre na wuhia Franco air conditioners because eno de wunya so a heat ni nyina be yira ena se dumso no so be bomu a Papa Franco si wasan de fana enu timi recharge eti ye dum kani akra fine bebo amawo ni nyina akọ Franco Trading Enterprise a ebo ne da form fine American 300 Ghana cedis so ekita wo a wagibio eti abusuan akọ Franco Trading Enterprise adefo ebi wo hono ye papa so ene ye de ema wo ye wo computers ye wo mobile phones ene me wo ho doso ye ka gadgets a udu hodo mo a ene ye to wani se kukukuku ne yesesa bi ma abofo mu ena DBS adawro manchense papa ye de bodan so ene ye se hit ne begina wo dem hono mo a ejina nchense so ebo wo dan so efise nchense ni bi wo hono mo a won de ochi hiti no wo de ejina wo dem na say DBS nchense a abusua how bia eni akire ko Spintex Road dan ye ne papa ye restaurant die animhwe no hono mo a na DBS wo ye payment blocks ye de kan ho na nchense a me kana semi no chese kala wo pe na wo gie na awia ya ma 20 years fading warranty DBS no umpe we na de na wo pe abusua bebre ka we hu na me kai wo so se Ghana free santin ye ka che wo se bia enwom ne ye bia de enoa ne club na nwom no etwa so bia de enoa ne club nti abusua ene club no mpanimfo se nya kase nko ya ye mini one no de aba be ka ho etu mpane se ye behwe na toa kase ni kitawa na wagi mini one na chese chilia ewie bo edian yo na se wo de wade enamu bokobokoboko oba pemfo wonnum bi unni 18 years so a twamko wonka ho gese wo mo aka wo se mennom de na so obenom de a ene bia de eno ane club abusia medical de ato wanim se ene National Youth Organizer ma NDC amanyoko no ene ene no esi adwa mame na me producers ase listo wo kwadwofo jo lawyer ofia sada so ena kwamkule no Aisha Akua Ibrahim ena Jamretuma Kowua ene birthday boy watachie den ena ni odimatum live o Facebook YouTube ene o person share live o Facebook and say YouTuber oba Adom 106.3 FM live on Facebook yedem YouTube so yedemu e wo hono Mama Pablo akwaba na yenhyase Pablo
Akua
Boko dear.
Nyame Adom yetin kwamu. Nyame ayene de akase kufu ado beto to oban ni ye. No man akoyi ama.
Near to aso no. Nyame ayena famu de.
Aban ni aban boni ama na o shokra ba ma o dream crown nsas.
Hey Pablo.
Revi say John.
Enti na say wie mu hwiwi no.
Kufu ado kan bi. Nipa boni di oman ne so oman ne bre.
Na kufu ado nen wo bae. So obae mfie nwotwe mu ne yakọ.
Afi na nyame apa ne ho ntoma. Enti na wia na boye nsa no.
Hey.
Cheza ma enkoyi baby ankoyi. O my ra say.
Who ye geography.
Oh, okay, say John. I say atabios my mbu na enkoyi aba. O ka be kukra.
Makonya ya. Eti na so awie gba.
Ya boy kufu ado de bebelebe no na ho abiem. Nipa boni di o mine so o mine bre. Bible na kan.
Ayo ya te. Ya da se say anwumre ye to nsa frɛ wo na waba. Minim say ndisi amanyuko no. Building Ghana town no mugu so den enemu a minim da ye de ba wie pe mo calendar no magigi amanfo adwen na wie adwenkyira amode be twiro nkrata amode be ye adwuma na asa kosisen
de di kai ma minchia wetifo mutie
etifo joso
akwa so the academics ma minchia his excellency John Dramani Mahama me no ka say omo one of east building the Ghana we want town no omo daso so omo jijiji de amanfo eka omo di hudwuma na me gidi say enche ye the town de be wie am say after of east semination times na ye wie Ghana yina na baby ebeko bia no I have been on the tour in some regions na dey am hu FN say one ababa we bi na ye ni aba betwi sanan no dia ye beke bia na ye tro ya ba ya oze special committee bi ala ba ya omo ho no ma policy think tank intino the obetwe ya no ho no ma. And then what I can also say is that your manifesto na dey ban and in 2020 there no changes in shada and also
okay
there a one manifesto name de da no say ho assemble ho no na onya ho mboaye nneema foforo eba up no the Brunisa exigencies of the time the new demands eba nti nneema asesi a ha ana koso no foforo eba no so ni ho mboaye a yetro the buyer no afraid committee and the ama committee no. So everything we are doing, so you're in train we answer, but everything we are doing, no, somebody is liaising between team that work field no and they no man and our work no my and I can assure be out here be as a manifesto a bed launch and at the other baby for this 2024 elections no a bed the tassum it will address the many challenges I confront here, especially the issue of unemployment. The Indian makers understand. The current unemployment rate of 14.8%. It's the worst time to be a Ghanaian if you find yourself under circumstances here. You're now unemployment rate of 14.8%. Even in the dark days. Emran Sabio 83 means we didn't have this level of unemployment. It's clearly something is not right with us. And so say you have a population that is growing, not just growing, but an educated population. Sabi omobit me a year juma. No money juma is dangerous. It's dangerous because one, you say Bible no asemi and Christopher asemi. The devil finds work for the ideal hands. And when you have a lot of young people, and I offer 14.8 now all extract it between the ages of 16 and 18 to 35. That is when Bebunu Jinan and Nice between that is 38% out of the 14.8%, no, and they are unemployed. And that is a clear and present danger to our democracy. We are saying we are branching in Yeduma and Ababa in Yeduma. Obon the pebi obakoye. Because Sabi the obeyana nesabe kona no obeye. And so everything we are doing is to look at the issue of creating jobs. And from the document I have seen, from page 1 to the last page, every page focuses on how we'll create jobs in every sector of the economy. And when we get into the
old manifesto, no dear SM now walking
from the old to the new, so it's just a transition. A lot is not going to change from the old.
Oh, do you soon am the call ya and ye say if do no
is it and ye is debatable because that is an election I did say in Lucy, and I have said time without number say if what happened in 2020, if the courts had done its job, and if the right questions have been asked in courts, and if the judges had allowed Jane Mensah into that docker, we would have seen the exposures we are all looking for.
Message and a manifesto
we are going to answer your manifesto because Sabi 4 years ago in 2020, now the mess and the mess was not at that level. So as I said, so it will not be the same. But because there are a lot to not change in so. For instance, the issue of 24-hour economy, now 2020 manifesto anymore. But today it's become relevant because of the exigencies of the time. The angel be relevant, they say, we need a paradigm shift from the way of doing things. Because the way economy not happens, so I can say 8 to 5 every day, we will not fix the mess we are in. That is why today, the 24-hour economy, 4 years ago, there was manifesto anymore. But nobody spoke about it. Because that time, it was post-COVID. And another nipa adapted. Now you're realizing your and so a lot of people were hoodwinked into the lies of Baumia and Ekufuado. And clearly people have seen beyond those lies. The myth around Baumia has been broken. Because Obia said your kind and the predictions in Kontompo on Teda. And so things will be different. But like I keep saying, what we have in the 2020 manifesto, any day count, we are going to do add-ons. Certainly because Emira Sister and Emira Dani. But all the things we said in the manifesto that were relevant, like the big push will still find space. Because this government, you won't say your infrastructural deficits. The big push was talking about dualizing most of our highways. It is still relevant today. Because people are still dying on our roads because of how narrow most of these roads are. So as I said, the big push was talking about building infrastructure in almost all our key economic sectors. It is still relevant. We still need to expand and do so because Sika you try to honoma, you can't say you fix it so through Eslano. Because have Baba send the acquire, but say I'm the aqua see our wakra or my jihu security till 2025.
Yeah, bebe no na ya yinema komako. But a mabunu adwuma yoya wo kan ye. Na me pese e gina ho. Because
I'm willing to get into that debate.
Yeah, because MPP bay no omo kan ye ba youth benya adwuma ye omba ye ne ye hu ye say adwuma ye no bi ye de napko aba ye de enwuma bi aba ye se omo be ye mfie mienu akiri no na wo kona foforo aba eti se nipa no adwuma no a wo ye mfie mienu akiri no wasa aba abonten. Because I heard the concept of bibi to send up kuna mpeni forecast so mumfiri mu no na emabunu ni yatumi ama bebre akeka keka nwumanum eso na emabunu wo monten so omusu na adwuma ni wo na adwuma ni wo mpeni foi kontabu omode ama om se yatumi ama mabunu over 2 million adwuma per NDC MPP amanyuko no na no government tracker yi omode abai no over 2 million but still you know, yes, ye adwuma ni ho. Eti momo de no mo be ye ne sen. De adwuma na mo de be mamabunu because ye be mamabunu adwuma de ya ti bebre hu.
You see, so first and foremost, President Mama Kase, one, obe create a ministry solely for youth development, so that any related to youth in will find space under that ministry.
Say ye youth and sports no.
Sports itself is huge. But football are in our attention. But the course of all African games, if there's anything to go by, then as a country, decided we'll focus on even sports alone. The number of young people will be creating opportunities are more. And I'll get into our sports program, our NDC in the war. But let's start with the Ministry of Youth Development. What President Mama is saying is, and two, I'll say he's going to also have the youngest cabinet ever. Because you see, young people understand young people better than any other person. And never confronting Mebuno, Mebuno Tiasie, SEOBR. And so, I say, Oba, Senyamia Adom na meno, ya bought the Roye, Nagana for Tuabamana. The cabinet, Nana, Omo be yoms on your be Buomina, on your Sinquina, a far dream Buomino. A baye Mebunu, Dodwana, and win a baye de. abanya emabunu edimakoten pa ewo yen yabakosemu. That should give you hope, and that should tell you, baby, your mind. Now let's come to the Ministry of Youth Development. I'll say the ministry will also be at the center of the 24-hour economy now. And Nema confronting youth. Why yes deck NIP Nissan Emanina national service scholarship baby a Baba and say we na or the Inaba ministry ba kwanse. Now you appoint a minister or Besha Sanyama way na so, and then every other sector be a mebuno to say education. So we'll have a minister for education, but whoever will be at the youth ministry, will be liaising with the education minister to look at programs. For instance, Yawaba Emuno, Emrana Yama Prof Nana Jane, education minister. That woman has not been celebrated enough. Or maybe and no colleague on in Yama, or more curriculum be bringing us. Industry was not hiring most of our young people. Afraid the dons of the university, and not afraid the dons from industry. And will be some say industry. They be na more share. Industry responsibility say curriculums are universities near around. Say me forward dream me na masan be train you there me yet. Because we train you years or 2 years with Jamaica. So and compared maybe say per experience for we bro. So he got industry, and as she got industry to give us the almost share. And our ma school so a buy, and our church school say training now more but over the years you've been running this curriculum for like 20 years, 30 years, but your people are not being productive because where your skill sets are industry. So the problem was identified. So today, Uko Legona, when we were in Legon 20 years ago, programs CBA no better somewhere. Our time we were not doing it. It was as a result of SARS stakeholder conference, near engagement now, Prof. Nana as education minister.
Programs, Benson.
Oh, for instance, when we were in Legon, now we are ICT, information studies. Now they don't call it information studies anymore. There was no way you would do philosophy. But today you have people combining those two. And now they've even brought on board entrepreneurship programs in Myanmar. It was as a result of stakeholder engagement this year, and the records are there. So the Ministry for Youth Development is going to look at issues because you see, if the person is not trained, if the person is not skilled, which means and so and time you convert say universities polytechnics to technical universities because we were looking at HND and Okitano and we're paying them less. Meanwhile, the polytechnics were giving practical trainings. Into Obiba mechanical engineering or poly. There'll be a mechanical engineering or university. But the mechanical engineering or poly no more practical experience because the polytechnics were doing more technical issues. But your co-investing only technical experience was being paid more. Time we converted it and moved away and made them technical universities so that people will now find solace because the German concept now polytechnics and a technical education and are changing the face of Germany. And so we did all this to position the young person to be labor ready, and that is what the ministry is going to do. Apart from that, under the ministry, in district offices for labor, labor offices it's not just going to remain as a labor office. It's going to remain as an office for employment, skill set. It is all skill set. Data will be collected from that angle. People will go in there. Employers who go there and pick people will get rebates. It's in a young person from a data center now, depending on the skill sets, like a data bank of people with certain skills. In 2% recruits here. You go there, government supports you with a rebate so that you can employ more people.
Inti metewasea yebenya center bia obebunu bia no wo certificate ekita wo adwuma a wo betumi aye no na do nkrata na koja ho eti ne wa bia adwuma epe obi afa na adwuma mu a okosa center ho na ofa nipa through the center ne ya wo kyɛ sɛ sika bi anaa sɛ nsiwu bi anaa sɛ na mbɛ no
rebates say it be a tax.
ɛtoa utua
no. And the more young people you employ, the more young, because the other problem is that you infer a lot of graduates.
Yes, you have incentives we are
which mean for more young people. Apart from that, we are looking at a coders program. Today, technology in a driving yes, say well, we are building technological theme parks. Accra Digital Center, the main idea behind the digital center was to train young people into coding in Niema. Because India, what is moving the India economy forward? And yes, our coding is our data entries here. Because the world has a lot of data on paper from enter. And all you need is a computer. You can work remote and work from anywhere, and you get paid. There was a company in Ghana, it was called Inshoba in Etanabibi. They were getting data from around the world. There are people in offices in Ghana here. And all they do is to enter data and people were getting paid. So we are proposing to training at least 1 million young people as coders. And then we can outsource a Juma from anywhere in the world. And that was the first thing on the Accra Digital Center. It was supposed to be, we were building 3 technological theme parks. When I was MC, my name Dr. Manibuama, I say with me crew my pride. And we're going to build one of the technological theme parks there. And so we started at Accra Digital Center. The Digital Center was one of the theme parks that I built. But the idea was that it was going to be a digital center for young people. And you see how vast I want to maybe a passport or the passport office is not a question. And that was going to be a digital center, and like the Silicon Valley idea, where they will train coders. Now you outsource, because the technology drives the world today, data security. And then around the world, data security jobs. And these are jobs you can do remote. And yes, all you need is internet. And so President Mama was laying fiber optic cables around the world, in Ghana, around Ghana. So Kaya. And then, but I'm your friend who digital, they kind of say digitalization. Digital man. Only one fiber optic cable input. Nipa don't lay cables and on far credits. But John Mama laid all these cables. I mean, they are 4G or 5G or Chrome. And that was the platform we were setting. Because that is another avenue. It created sustainable jobs. ICT space, no. It creates vast jobs. And we're building these ICT data centers in all the districts. When I was in government, you see 3. You see Baku Ekropon, you see Baku Dewu, and you see Baku Amanfro. Digital space, and it had in it a post office, and then the place you be training for coding. And all these programs were being rolled out. And we are coming back with all these programs. So you can see creating real jobs. I don't know. Maybe feel how I'm unemployed.
True ABA digitization send your working no. You bet me employ mabunu best say. True Sansha ya wo kan say ko data center no akofan nipa bi wo ye nim sese ye ne sa ma incentives ne ba mu a anya kura no mabunu say.
But I was giving numbers because ye 1 million coders program. And I gave you the basis for the coders program now ye babe you know. I gave you the example say you see data center now hanomo no. Is this our data center? We're building 3 of our parks no. It's called a technological theme park. Ni AC3. We went to Mime constituency. Mene Dr. Manibuama. To even go and look for land. And Prede, is my witness. Because we're Prede, on name me witness. Because the one of 9 feet crowd, you're going in could sound common. And your questions are saying about Fufia and Twata. But we started at the Digital Center here. And then we're building the ICT centers in all the districts. It started from Honorable Haruna Idrisu time. President Mama, knowing that ICT could drive the world or it is the next game changer, no? It laid fiber optic cables around this country. And Obekaya, even in one of his statements, was you don't see these things. But this is what Ghana needs to take off. That is how come we have e-governance programs here. It was because of what President Mama did. And in that data space alone, in that ICT space alone, you can train over 1 million people within a space of 6 months. And as you saw, within 1 year, you can get sustainable jobs. Because data security is what the world is moving into now. More data, it has to be protected. You need people to work on it and protect it for you. And around the world. And these are jobs you can get remotely. So these are things we're looking at. Apart from that, your program be less depth. Okay. what did LesDep do? LesDep was looking at people who were being trained. So, apprenticeship program. We have an apprenticeship program, and we are looking at training about 1 million apprentices. What LesDep was doing is that you're training who we are, you're both and we give you equipment to go and start work. And then we just don't give it to you. The NBSSI centers, no. Another time, the Rural Enterprise Foundation, and we model NBSSI centers, and build additional capacities. So their job was very simple, and it's coming back. It's in our manifesto. The job is very simple. Say, "Onaye, madam, and oye, we're at the Palm area. We're oye, madam, oye, opama diena. Your brother apprentice 10 Edaji Trisa. Government will pay side trees on the amount. I buy bet you side trees on amount. Now I buy attach you to NBSSI office now on no. Now ya ebiana we need certification because this year no baby you are seen do no. Oh yeah, you maybe so certification. It's we will attach a TVET officer. No about access skill. Oh madam no skill. Now say skill no echo kanya. Now we certify because maybe I want to be in classroom and this certification. But the Germany be by say for certification, but now NVTI officer no about the master certification. So we have a name. I don't recall what the term is, but the Yamani acronym. So that madam you satisfy you near amount certificate. I say a German was no udimo akotin wotiase ubetimi atro bia. Then we give you apprentices. Now sika say obi be share Juma so G3. Government pays that for you, and when that is done. Nipana train year after a year or two now all pass it out. No. Now LesDep take over Nipano. What LesDep does is that through with the NBSSI, any Rural Enterprise Foundation, they will help the person set up. What pass here now, you're satisfied and say, we're seeing Jumanary, NVTL, certificate for number Besheno. You pass the skills now, so shiny now, obeying your no and master. Then we set you up. Now LesDep our equipment. It is not for free. But the amount of grace period. And because you don't have no skills in managing Sanyamano, the NBSSI officials now will help you manage a Jumana Okwakoyeno. So Ebia was setting up small Ebia barbering shop and our small salon. The amount I didn't say friend is dryer. The amount rollers. And the name now we are amount period.
We know say when we
in government we did a LesDep program. I was the chief LesDep run.
It's no that time.
LesDep ran for about 2 years. But at least it was run on district levels. I can speak for my district. I know then a Krapim North. Beneficiaries of LesDep was well in excess of 100. I'm EMC, so I can speak for Krapim North. I don't know about other districts, but in Krapim North, but you see, beginning of every program, they're afraid of teething problems, difficulties. After we ran LesDep, we realized we did not attach NBSSI to it. We just gave out the items. You unsatisfied it, we didn't do all that. So in our manifesto, we are saying that because of the lessons we've learned from that program, this time around, we don't want it to be half baked. You better say a year programmer, you better go through a certain process. Ufimu na o kono. You need the wechi. Now OJ Niamana it is put to good use so that at least somebody else can also benefit after you. And then we have a grace period. In CBA 3 years, 2 years, no tax, work and start paying off equipment.
But Pablo, once I okay de se wajia chum se ye no. Ye kwa nimu ye hu se niema no a ye no ya NCP enti ne de ba no ye ya mena CP we na ya de bi a me hu ne se eba se mode mo bo hye na eba mode nhyehyeye na eba se ye nhye da nyebre en think it true se ade no ye na dru se ya en ye benya mfaso edi mu ebi ne na kodie ya making se wutumi se na mumu die say na wo kan say mo ye ne dru ba bi mu say da bi bibia to sin ewo mu
is every program
enti mo program say ya mo de ba won say nya one political party
is every program needs a review after some time program it's the president mama can say ye be sanhwe free SHS DBM or run program sabi studio how tea what's not after a year on the review adwuma wo ye whether say listenership, it doesn't mean you failed. But every program needs a review for improvements because the demands of consumers keeps changing. So I tell you, society is not static, it's dynamic. Society keeps changing. Until say any program be after a year or two. And I'm gonna say the beginning of every program, you're afraid of two things problems. Wait to see where uncle ye. If you say you need power way so and sabi it happens. It is when you do the review and a program not starts, and a new ideas is about on board. So we have gone back and we started and said, you start saying, we only gave the people the equipment. But now you say, obi banop obey school bay. People go around uko school bay qualification bay now. Ebi ani panesia in Sanwejuma, we need certification, yeah. So now we want to satisfy them by making sure say NVTI, Mumbra na Mumbra say, asemesi, at be also be one more in Sanwejuma, or you're skilled sin the Aquatana classroom impo. But he needs certification. It only makes the program better, and that's what we are saying. So it is not that first one and then yet. But yeah, Shemukina, so that we can project the program to a higher height. That's all. And that notwithstanding, after 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, a review will still become necessary because society would have changed. And I can assure you, I agree as well, the NEC President Mama is in a better position. You know why? Because he's been there before. If mistakes were made, he may have seen it. The programs that were positive, he can enhance them. They are told, and is in where Ghana stands today. You need experience. You don't need President Mama in 2016. If you've not been president before and you don't know the challenges that confronts the sitter, be careful what you say. Careful on the many promises we're making. Ghanaians took him on, but today, or same prophets, or your D4 and Kabana and Aswari Daima, because all the things he said have come to pass. We've seen the shallowness and hollowness of Akufo-Addo the Bahomia. In the Mokaya, no more better Kunyano Sodano. And is the President Kufuor said something, obey a president in his run up to the 2004 elections. Or say 2000 and send me be kind on better Kunyano Soda, or better as we say situation here different. Into no what to see Ghana for fan channel.
Pe udita wudi tu dwafa mabunu ni adwuma ye ho na se ene ye kan mabunu be empim dunan na sam mabunu opipi dunan po na kan ya na se empim dunan. The
current data of unemployment in the country, the total unemployment rate 14.8%.
14.8% percentage, no.
NDC connect about 8%. The total.
And they say
out of the 14.8, you know. Young people between the ages of 18 to 35 constitute 38.8% of the 14.8%. What's your answer? It's alarming.
Per near woo can unse a alarming ya woo no. Aban ena meka se da bia wo bia se moso modie mo kan ye ba youth unemployment etu obetwa ba ye hu se problem no still no a ne wo ba wo share bo ne wo se maye bio still problem no da so e wo ho eti nei no what you me identify the main problem said there be ye bi but ne enti a ye ntumi ntu ase ni
in between 2008 to 2016, the unemployment rate did not increase. And the data is there to support it. Statistical Services, not Jojo Parado. Between 2008, about 2009, 7th January. So between 7th January 2009 to 2016, unemployment and cost per the data. Between 2017, 7th January 2017, it has moved from 8%, and you can Google it. It has moved from 8% to 14.8%. It is a Abawe catch-all.
Unemployment graduates.
So it was all a creation of the NPP.
Creation of the NPP.
And I say we had 8% unemployment rate in this country as of 2017, 7th January, 8%. So I say, total unemployment, now 8%. So and everywhere in this world there is unemployment. And so what we are saying is that yes, they had groups called unemployed graduates. It was all a creation of the NPP. And that's for no more info.
No money graduates ampa.
And now today where are they? Today they are occupying positions in the NPP. Omomudi afagenimu kenu freatan momudi sa demonstration group can hear from say. No more demonstration can see. Occupy Ghana for Papaya where we can slave for and you can no. They all came to occupy positions in this government. I work like a bull. Today I just stopped working like a bull. The taxes in any day.
No,
today,
unemployed graduates.
Says all those groups, Occupy Ghana and Niema, they were all creations of the NPP. NPP by occupy key positions. Keno Foriata. Honorable Ghana Fem Kesiepa is Ankuma. How much money his company has charged Ghana from transactions? Na government Kobobo Sebia no advice the government. So they were doing it for their personal selfish interest. Na Ghana na no modo. Some the unemployed graduates say Sabo York Publishing Corporation, Afagbo, your friend and David Asante no more. Today they are occupying positions. By the way, the people leading these groups. But today, I'm telling you on authority, say unemployment has increased. From what you and I knew, from 8%. I buy also one district, one factory, planting for food and jobs. Unemployment starts at 14.8%. Clearly, they have failed. Because they've not been able to create the jobs they promised you and I don't make it, And then we are telling you, Adom, we are going to create a 24-hour economy. And you see, there's been a lot of misconception about the 24-hour economy. The 24-hour economy is very simple. A three-shift economy. A three-shift economy. It's going to be backed by policy. It is not going to be imposed on anybody. Oh, because the 24-hour economy, they are family home. You know why? So when you're emergency, be a numerape. Now what rush you udofubia ko hospital. Now what could do hospital? Next year they are OPD. Next bit on Maybe I ain't 2 mono. But even some of the hospitals will be doing 2 after 5, 6, 7 yapon. Government hospitals. But baby, I'll be called about to say a BNO. Or you're lucky about 2 nurse.
Government hospital be normal po.
Oh. There's cheap compounds around the country, most of this district hospitals.
In Krunki to a Mudian.
Obeko yapon ya 2 yapon. Now hold Krunki 20 pound yare. Obeko yapon. But dear Crossy DCU, it's here make us in the America. And so, would Dofu be and now this year be a waka or as we call a nest, you know. Next year, no Bobo phone on your doctor, na doctor bar. Maybe an doctor anything for trouble, be near a friend. There's a lab technician upon. Wouldn't the lab technicians are one of the most important people in our hospitals. Because Dr. Jumane try and error. A lab Jumano and a trained doctor say, we in a yell. If you should be genuine, you are reporting a yell. Obano the same things now, or guess we in a yell. And to so be run a lab. No way who the yell no. There's a lab technician upon. It is a lab technician in Baya. Joe train at the chair. I mean Penguna accident cranny try extra and MRI. That's what upon. But if we are running a 24-hour economy, what it simply means is that lab technician round the clock, obakube banopa, obakube beria, obakube benumre. So all the 8-hour shifts now, about 24 hours no, nipa honoma or yejuma. So what I say, it is not just a 3-shift system. Nipa biya yejuma 5 days in a week, 40 hours. So what it means is that there is also a 4th shift, because we take it 2 days leave now, 2 days off now, or off days no. There are also the other 3 a 2nd shift, and also 2 days leave. There are another 3 a 3rd shift no, and also 2 days leave. So what it means is that say a funny pa baako no ayanopa 8 to 5. Now you 3-shift system. It means they are taking 3 other people account. The oya no pa, the oya area, and the oya numere. And then the 4th person here, your cover in between, so 2 days now, we are taking it off no. So technically it's a 4-shift system.
Enti sa shift system
and so for me mami we na me can see
asem. Ude nyaboche obe kasi asem so.
As I lose me thoughts. Lose thoughts. Ode mami we enti no say yeah furnace one. And now you have a lab technician one. What it means is our hospital be lab technicians 4.
Enkayo ne wo kenkayo. Nanso obia wo reason ti a wonye na dwen se na dwuma a wo ye no wo betene mu afiri anopa kosi anwumre anase obema obi po aba se wo be ya anadwo wo be ya wia adwuma a obi nim se filling station po anka ye nim se enwo se omopon nipa nim se efiri no nsia kwa akromfo be ha me enti mo kama ne ye se oh ye run shift system edu hono ma we kona we ba are we ready say first security wise say omo e wo se ye bo omo ho ban wo munuma mu obi a ye se ye adwuma nwumre ya consider ya take his name nyina into consider because
President Mahama
say na ya amuka no
the first thing he said is that to run a 24-hour economy you need enhanced security, and so they will increase the number of policemen on the streets.
The police for
increase security. A lot of policemen.
Police for dodo a ye wo mo no. Ye kan nipa e wo ma yi mu say nipa bia police dodo sen na hwe mo so a ye dodo sen.
That I don't have that data. But the American say if a police for 10. Normal shift here. Now you be 24-hour economy. We will take 40. So it means that more opportunities for young people to get more jobs. Yes, you have enhanced security, and then something on street lighting. It is all in the manifesto. Because we are coming out with a program lights, either floodlights, communities, lighting system will be very bright in key installations. This a filling station or normal. States no be put out, and the street lights, ultra light without chebi. So we'll make sure that we are going to have, if you can, in last manifesto now, an authority for just street lights. An authority
for street
lights. Yes. You see, if there is so much.
Pablo, who can you? Send me a Makamia Tia say.
What is the NDC? It means Pelia intro. It is MPP.
Yeah, but whatever we say. Yeah, many panel no so exactly. And you may what can say youth and sports. Ye benya youth no kwa na sports e gina ne baby. Say so asa ka so. Ye benya street light the authority.
An authority for street light.
Enti won say ye can lean government na me ni say minister some. Yeah, appointing we
but when you are creating jobs that are sustainable and then the country needs them, there is nothing wrong. And you see, when you have
before can say
you don't need a sanitation ministry. You don't need a sanitation ministry when you have a local government, because sanitation is the core responsibility of local authorities.
Street light authority.
We have an authority. So under the Ministry of Energy, we will have a department more or less solely to make sure that all street lights in this country are working. That is solely what they are going to do. And you see, the levies we pay to the ECG. Levies na chama EC, ucha light bill bia. There is a portion for street lights. Who accounts for it?
And they want also street lights.
It has become the responsibility of ECG in the district assemblies, no. But ECG
doesn't assembly, no.
ECG first capra. You know why? All you need is a liaison to administer. ECG sikase na moje. ECG sikase na moje. Moje 1,000 Ghana cedis on lights, on street lights. Mo farmer side department way. Department me juma say mon call out. Na mon call say all street lights are working because there is a budget line for you. When there is no budget line, you can't do anything. But says can go ECG for because this can on the day. So it is nothing new.
Intine sanke ba assemblies no one can wait my year juma no. Intine ye authority maybe about assemblies now, but assemblies but is even authority.
So when I say maybe I use the wrong word, but I said under the Ministry of Energy, there is a department that oversees Jumano. Omuni ebesho mu kinakeke. Sa department na ebesho mu kinakeke. So I say ebesho mo dey. Na yede embra ata omochi. Because if you don't have a legal framework for some of these things, but when there is a legal framework and then has the backing of parliament, then omo just says can no easy na dey on be just allied bills can. Then they know say it doesn't need a common fund no or this can no say some percentage you know enye media biem. No matter what it takes, no, except the kokoto sankrofo way futuo mu, no so dey omo adwuma, and that is what we intend to do. Because if we have street lights all over the major places where there are major installations, all hospital lights or no more, filling stations lights or no more, the crew matching, and then there are security people we can run a 24-hour economy. We do so anywhere, no where else because there is light everywhere in your in the sakrada okusua unsho. But when there is darkness, and so if you are going to run a 24-hour economy, one of the key things you need is street lighting, else you cannot run it effectively. And we are saying that we will look at South street lighting aspect, no, because ECG is nothing new. And then there is a department, but you enter department into the better and they will definitely work under the ministry or the assembly and make sure that the right things are done. And it will also create jobs for young electricians in Niema. In this district, and I'm your parade, I'm your contractor, and I'm your ECG contractor. Any other district, we be mammy. Now, but me be a light bill at your district, no, a better authority, maybe the other maybe 76 street lights or no. You think we'll be in darkness? And that's what we are proposing. These are feasible solutions and rocket science. These are things you can work with, practical. It is not promises, having a copy scan baby. The money is generated every day. ECG 4G light bill, Ucha light bill, there is a portion for street lights. That's kind of qualified. So all we are saying is that going to parliament and passing a legislation and making that job and that department get more authority. Say, Omoji can ECG this can now say Emrate to me Fabium or the more authority in the energy. It's simple. It solves our problem.
Into 24-hour economy no. And niema akade a mahu se ehie betumi amenagina no wabo bambo so ene wabo yenkania se enkania no wo baabi a nadwene obi a namu enti yenya bambofo no ne yenya nkania ye wie 24-hour economy no
you need legislation and it's not going to be compulsory and with the legislation what will be running so for instance or factory and so radio stations are more than 24 hours a day. The more crown is just superfluous. But if you are a factory, or run it one shift. I buy it says or run it 3 shifts now. And you may know. So if you are paying 1 cedi in light bill, you have more rebates so that you can employ more people in the evening to work. What you say? So there will be tax rebates on electricity, and is it tax you call it? But there will be a rebate on electricity for organizations that work during the day and also work at night. And you don't qualify. It is you are working, your organization is running 24/7, 24 feet and upper, 8 to 8 and now 6 to 6. Then you qualify. So once you are doing a 3-shift system and a full 24-hour round the clock, then the period from ABR and that one legislation will provide. It is ABR enumerate 6 about 6. So the next morning 6 So light bill ABR 10 cities about ABR 8 cities.
Yeah, to swam.
Yeah, to swam.
And no abine a befasa cano.
No, so you see, when government is not going to take that debt alone, but when there is more production, more taxes are paid. So I say, and when government gives a rebate, it doesn't mean say because there is always
maybe some way because of ECG baby original. No, because an ECG be catch or say you do my and your boka bad
because there is so much leakages in ECG.
A ban so car a ban human
so when because the companies are paying taxes. And so when they are getting rebates on their taxes to support their electricity. It's simple as ABCD. Oko chia tax, abro chia tax, abanze chia ABR tax 100 Ghana cedis. Osmama electricity rebate of 10%. It is 10% never support electricity. That's all. So you end up paying the electricity, but the taxes you are paying to government, government has given you a rebate for supporting electricity, 10% of it. It's a rebate. It doesn't have to be on the light bill now. Oko chia no. The American not here. So that HG America say maboka. Ebia
abanya broka na guo wa me
we declare profit 10 cities. As I buying ABR 4 cities. Out of the 4 cities now buying, see, because you worked 24 hours, no. Out of the 4 cities, no, you have 3 cities. Not for 1 city, no, could you have a light bill, for a light bill. So government has given you a rebate to support your light bill. It's simple as ABCD. Okay. This is not rocket science. These are feasible solutions. Very simple things you're proposing.
Enti bambo de no yebefa prosifo ne bambofo ne bi aka ho
more fire service, more police officers.
Yebefa more wonim say so ye gina IMF conditionalities no niema wo untimi mfa kasa me fa nipa keke
you see na papa not so no akwa IMF ne kra so ba o ma unti tax bill o share adwuma for that o catch o share traders o say o better taxes so they no dey wakosa IMF as no when governments change this Brentwood institutions, they relax some of their rules. Yes, Pablo. They do. You have to go for renegotiation.
IMF
IMF no. In 2014, IMF no. We took our own solutions to the IMF. Our homegrown solutions. These guys were not smart. It's meant to be for solutions. That is why up to the IMF negotiations on year on debt restructuring crime. International community now correct is not correct. They were not smart. They didn't have a plan. Because Nipa no messy up economy. No, not outside need them from IMF. When we were going to IMF, Setekbe was finance minister. But Kwesibo Trinity and IMF no. And even that near so we went with our own homegrown solutions. The proposals here, they call no. They call IMF Yanchano. You call when we say we're going to the IMF, within 4 or 5 months, we had a deal with the IMF.
And you can offer you attending again and penny for IMF way.
Now Nipa na wa causing mess. No, is it when the West doesn't have only credibility? Ken has no credibility in front of the West anymore because of the mess it's caused the economy.
I say when you I mean
on the can call no. That's why we are still in the mess we find ourselves. No? If we are taking NEC, if they had listened, no more fun. I'm on a 2 year no. Emma is sinkunya. Send you sinkunya or say no be adding our dream by ye. Nay, I decided say this is our problem. This is the solution towards it. We'll not be where we are.
Echi ni awo ka kire ya nwume ni sese IMF nhyehyɛ no kra wo ho fa nipa dodo a wo se yetimi fa wa adwuma mu a
IMF doesn't stop you from employing people, especially when it comes to security.
Yeah, was special
exactly security.
Security.
With the conditions facing the world today, the IMF can never tell any sovereign country say don't increase your police force. The IMF can never say that. And you see there is a lot of waste in government. Oko ministries nibia oko Ghana Gasa office ba clipper be 30 in the team ihu adwuma bi omoye. That is where the waste is. And no one sem nieka but all for security people are ebebo kro no ba the IMF will never tell them for doctors mamo ye adwuma from crofo. The IMF can never say that. If they are taking oko now and you see you do you will be a friend no audit on employment or audit staff. Now what should say be staff strength need to say hanomo work say now nipa say now here. So if you do all this audits now they will audit employment audit control IMF and him say we will increase productivity because you need taxes to pay off debts now the member. So if you go and tell the IMF say if I increase this number of workers, production will increase to this number. This is the taxes I'm in, so I'll be able to service my debt. IMF because I'm funny panel. But all fan Sebi, they don't add on anything to the economy. Now your family and friends, and your kufa and Nebusha for our from Nebusha for Google state institutions, then the IMF will stop you from employing other people. But when you need teachers in the classroom to teach them, IMF is meant for teachers. When you need nurses to man your hospitals, the IMF cannot tell you they don't take nurses to man your hospitals.
But I hope, sir, promises are more money, some more okay. No matter take it into consideration.
We are not making promises. We are talking about feasible solutions to the problems that confront us.
But still, I promise some more money. Say you buy way near, but you boss it.
Okay, so is it when you campaign? I don't consider about it. And then I say me ba be so pa. Say me catch us me ba, and now ma me kwan ya. Ebia me to few am what them. Me to car we am watch. I idea was set me here because I mean, know where mouse are comfort. No. So when I tell you, say me bar, make create an enabling environment. Now, wait me a year, Juma Wumu, Ewa Hutomu. Now, security is a man be a challenger. A Yabambia said, yes, sir, or create an enabling environment. Emma. Now, it's me a Juma. Now, business is thriving. It is the responsibility of governments to make sure say emebune wo kronim no oma man be burden, so he gives them the right skill set so they can be trained to work. Coders program, it is going to be more private sector driven. All government needs to do is to set up the infrastructure, because outsourcing the way you are making. When you go and outsource, I know friends, I mean now from Ghana, Hanoma, they outsource jobs from America. They live in Ghana and they are working and they are earning good dollars. So what I say, but it's limited to a few people because someone almost has skill sets now. And that is why we are building these data centers around, so that we can train more people to acquire our skill sets now. Imagine we train 1 million coders in this country and we are outsourcing we will change the face of our economy, and this is feasible. This can be done when you're rocket science.
Abusia enia watching enumere youth organizer, national youth organizer semna making NDC amanyoko no mu George Opare Ado Pablo enumere yane no esi adwa e wo bani ni suzumedie so de wo asembisa bia wo ko Facebook a wadwenche no betumi edibi ato wo Adom 106.3 FM for adwenche no bi eto hono mejebre na makenkan ede amaw ebre ya ese emu ye bekenkan ede amaw na Pablo enche yebeko monhyehyɛ ya mo yefa afimpinu ni aduonu abatwe ho, because complaints ahoro eba na muni isintem yebeko ho no mo bansa na yebeko ho no monam ya no minim ne mate afa ne Ghana fo ka e de fa ya ho ne ne ho meka na kyese yanyina mo nkani ase begina so, because na no menam krom na hu se ma ye billboard kese mampani dada John Dramani Mahama da so ya twero to say face the doom so say bibisa was so face the doom so I'm here and I'm say na mo message amu wo no efa say Ghana fo osu say MPP for fix doom so no mo entumi anya mo ba ade na mo ba, because when you say face the doom so yes you hu so obi affix it alternative no mo de ba say ye ba we ni e be ye, because when me eti ase say answer na mo be free wo no mo solve doom so say ye kasa ya solve bibi a minim say kona asan aba.
Okay, so I'll tell you what.
Eti na say ye ntumi hu ade no hin ne free ba kwan ye betumi afa so ne atu ase kora mo solve ye say mo pa say mo solve ye asan aba nti hin na man solve ye.
Yes, solve doom so one
na e den ya asan besi
akua mama wie onya ban bone a ne tiewu a wabon a, these are the problems you get. From 1957 our Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Akosombo Nabui was on the drawing board. Nkrumah only left up with Akosombo. For a very long time, our only source of energy is Akosombo. Successive governments have actually encountered. Rollins never T1. Abuazi terminal plant. And the support Akosombo. And our President Kufuor, 8 years, or high toy generators, I'm kind of who was his director for VR in the Kai. Internal President Kufuor Bekai in Adom so. And of course, for Gugu Akosombo so Monkobompai. The mining companies in Ghana ended there about 30 megawatts. I can't asa. Nothing happened again. President Kufuor secure Sika. At the Koye, Yababe Ebui. But you see, now baby, we are no. The moment Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, a dam, Bagri Dam, no.
Na Gui Dam, near Chassia Breben.
Atamios ne be fiat, but Kufuor ne paid scanner to her. But President Kufuor ne paid scanner to her, and the contract was signed during President Kufuor's time. I give him that credit. Me Kufuor, me first credits. No. But at that time, Bui was not profitable because Emra Nkrumah nom de Bui to drawing board ne so no. Now white vote and flow straight eba. Now Burkina Faso and your dam no Bagri Dam no. So the water levels was good. Climate change about a problem. Today nobody is doing hydro anymore. Even though hydro is cheaper, nobody is doing hydro because won't me predict where that be because of your activities as human beings. So the world was moving towards terminal plants. It is Sikana President Kufuor committed to Bueno. The Papema, that money should have been committed to a terminal plant. But we are tied to a contract. So we continued with Bui. But Bui has not produced energy at full capacity. And then successive governments, all the way to President Kufuor, Obi and Fashiyanka. our country was growing. At the time, our President Kufuor Fiso as president. Now, rural electrification, Ghana Hanum, Nipa here now more coverage was less than 60% or more electricity. Between the 8 years of President Mills and President Mahama, it increased to about 90% coverage. I will be in a Kenya on the fee. A Caribbean Kenya Kwakuduo. Apart from that, we saw the rapid development across the major cities. No? Skyscrapers coming up, and they all demand electricity. Businesses here, 10, 15, 20 years ago, Joy FM was one of the only few radio stations in Iran. Today, within some premises here, more than 4 different stations and TV stations. So the demand for electricity be more. But over the years, we have not added on. Some problems in our community and about 2 or back for so President Mahama so. But the leader that he is, or before the people of this country, Ebeji to say, me blaming me predecessors, me na babe to me na me my penny. Me na problem ya babe to me. Meet me for 1 year in terminal plan. The minimum year in this terminal plan is 3 years. But me assure Ghana for say, this problem is a generation problem. I will increase capacity. I build a generation amamu, and I will solve the problem once and for all. On my Mary, on my car power, on my T3, T4, Senate, and on my bridge power is even coming on board. And as I say, bridge power crowds come on board. President Mahama time they sign a bridge power. So he did all this for you and I. And I'll say, over the years, a cat at the Honomo, the West African gas pipeline for. Apart from that, they have yes, trouble. President Mills at Roma. They are secure funding, and they see trouble. So we had our own gas, the best support here. But because most of the terminal plants were in the Tema enclave, no. West African gas pipeline, Nigeria gas in the supply, a car honomo. So let me establish a multi-purpose vehicle. The best generated sika. Near generated tax via solely to pay off all the debts away energy sector anymore. So that we never see doom so again. So in September 2016, you passed the law on ESLA. Emayenya ESLA. Energy sector recovery levy, no? To solve all the problems in the energy sector, financial problems. And you increasing capacity. So Akosombo, insurance, we had more thermal plants, never generating Kanye. I'm a buying crab can you say you signed the contracts and they say Kanye the doors to do. So we had solved the problem.
Take or pay no.
Or they take no because they take or pay no and a car about to one.
You sure will see it.
But you see, because President Mahama was looking beyond, because the country was growing, and you supply electricity to my neighbors. So all we needed to do, say take or pay. Now what? Plants no animal. Not to go here, Kenya. Why? Because they still demand electricity from you. Cote d'Ivoire demands, Togo demands. So just supply it to them. And that is what governments with foresight. The problem that we are facing today is not that we don't have capacity. Capacity need the capacity na a problem and a President Mahama no. You solve it. Capacity no no more. Problem no. You disika no.
Yeah, disika no.
Yeah, try no.
But so we independent power producers no so they almost say esan se ye de enyinam kani ani bi ekotogo ni amanhodo bi so no nti na ma yenya ne yehia wo Ghana.
No, it's not true.
It's
not true. Nobody, no power, no. Their problem has been that I bind your moka, bind your moka. So they are shutting down. As ugly so shutting down because I bind in the car.
But so Obekaya, President Ka said, "Yen focus on Ghana." Or Kaya pen or model tebebo na baso say no so can hone ayenti on bomb and pen na baso so ti.
Yeah, bomb my pen na baso doom sonejai. Ayeka and I will honor na benchia or the Esla na kusia wa. Esla was supposed to have lasted for 5 years, but now it's Esla every year. It would have cleared all the debt in the sector. And then ask them when I will generate na wuchia.
Zine se sika nke wo se
or the Esla akosia wa ama sisi amena okasei Esla ko 2035. Inti sika e was esla editia e kano abaya di say sika na did that.
From near work and nature say most be a matumi identify say yen can ye doom source ye be could doom somewhere a sikasem.
And na NDC na yesikasem. Na ye installed capacity. And I'm sure we didn't have the capacity.
Eti because and problem I ye face
and the problem is because you were today.
Enti mo ba mo de ani se mo di sika behim. Mo se mo ma solution because somebody na me hu ya na me kasa say mo se o mo fix it.
We gave a solution to the problem. Because you say over the years na e kakakra e da honoma na ban bia ba obeka the toll recovery levy by. Yet me afenchi aka no. Okay. So we brought ESLA to last 5 years. Any year projections is there from 2016 now ESLA by no. Now carry so by 2021, 2022 there. Now ESLA YP up a KBA energy sector anymore. So that now the producers will be independent or the man give or take. But the man na meji misika. Now a KBA ni hono mu biem. Abai we buy an SO this cano, committee sikano, editia cano, one committee scano. He diverted the money into other things. And no, they could see.
When say I near me no toll recovery levy no, and no anti-man solve problem.
Toll recovery levy was under pressure before.
And also says sikano near what's here.
Toll recovery levy was not for electricity alone. It was
no talk
canning but no, you buy your floaty shares through commercial bank. And our President Mills, and we had the class at talk. And Obekaya, during our time, Tor was making profit. Tor and the bust under a wadaku were declaring profits.
Oh, sir, Uchi any maker and Kabetia say, Say, I bought for Troy, I bought for 2 in ano, Nkosiaga.
Ekosiaga pa. And then people in Siaga. Because Toll recovery levy was under NPP and Siaga. You buy a solve our problem. Yeah, time. Levy Bia, the ESLA by. ESLA was supposed to have solved the problem once and for all. And I'm saying we used ESLA for only 3, 4, 5 months. And if you are buying Sikana ESLA Jinin, I won't be more content. So we solved the problem. Say my ESLA and Juma, you set out here, we should not be where we are. Because when the stakeholders met, and the good thing about the NDC was that President Mama Kwant now they won't decide you. We do stakeholder engagement. So you MPP ni, we CPP ni, we PNC ni. Obekaya, yen time I watch the CEO for VRE. Everybody almost saying about chairman. Because President Mama didn't care which political party you belong to. Once our expertise, ubet me aye jumano, and the solution abane there. You know ye jumano. Unlike this vindictive Akufo-Addo, Obaya, Sabi, we NDC near Pamu Edmume, na be DC, we there Pamu. President Mills by or my DC straight remember so we came here about June, July. 7th January, I swear Akufo-Addo in. 7th January, and Lima. Former Minister for Local Government, that I appointed minister, not a transitional team. A year later, see in a Yenkofi, by a cocotte and Jacakra.
Ain't he, young show? Quite Ben and mobile and befast was over doomson.
Quite fast solve the Emmanuel Wabamuna.
So that time was in a capacity, no, and a need
increase capacity.
More increasing capacity.
And ESLA, a buyer to pay off the debts. A buy we buy ESLA, can they've not committed it to it. I'm married now a coffee buyer. And on the America, Kumasa at the cost of $35 million. That's a bene womb. And on my money, for Terminal 1 was a Terminal 2. So $35 million from the Kusi, or the movie America from Takrade, at the core, Kumasi. No. When it was still generating power for Kumasi, did they need a plant in Kumasi for what? So $35 million now, on the years our transportation, at the cost of America Kumasi. No. That $35 million could have been put into the energy debt now. You over $1 billion. No.
Pablo, and you may own one someone walking in an aquese, a bay, a modern more, or one home modern, or one modern. No, minim se performance track a by your work. A be at no who me Yansri will be a no, send ye Usi Kamani, yes, a bay you were more than home modern. Well, phone ye kita we no, but www.governmentperformance track and first statement. And you know, Monkania will castle no moon fan call baby, no, or much me a chair. coverage baby or mudi adru schools ahoro o mo si
ye fia ba mu no ye do 90%. I know mo.
And 1D 1F for money ya 160 something or much me aye. It is a Ghana for her performance tracker. He said, I buy a jumo se why ye ni and nemo de amo can ya say bro.
Performance tracker I did do the hospital job. I'm commission here. Okay, this performance tracker. In the first day of launching performance tracker, 67 projects were found out saying your projects on the account. 67 of John Mamet's projects. Omo capture. Yeah, the green book nearby.
Omo de ba say projects ahoro a wo kan. Mampani da de ya wo kan bi no. Omo indicate say bia ye toa so and ye wi.
Omo ma beja to say be member 5 in mo. Omo ma bad be say mistake. Member 5 in mo.
Menya chada me mo striker, menya striker.
Member 5 in mo. Kwajo program bad be say mistake. Nan can you say baso kra. Dodo house to them 67 projects in in 2020. A similar program, a similar tracker by Okay. In 20,
it
had a name.
Performance track.
But it was the same tracking.
Different.
But it had a name. It had a name. Almost on my 18,340 projects in 2020. Number my 18,300 and something projects in 2020. After 4 years, I count, and now 2024 projects started from 18,000 to 13,000. 419 buying, Kontum power buying from 18,000 in 2020. Projects are not on my you, and then same government 8 years, 18,000 is what about 13,000. Where is the credibility of this group? So why would I go and waste my time on this? Schools are John Mama see, I saw more track and was on why. Hospitals are John Mama see. Now, Okobu Crampa sometimes a insult. Football justice almost supply my zongos. You know, I can track at home. And it's appalling. Go through it and you see. Football justice. Justice I ask. Justice I ask. They are sure say
but I won't say and the difference what we in 2020 dey no because 2020 dey no so obekaya and no ma ete ase say and no ye delivery tracker omo baby omo center on no yes dey hin na ya ye nko ba we ne dey performance tracker no ni ye hu ni nyina wo mo dey ka ho eti so ko hu so omo so ma che jesi eno e onwa
me DC in green book just chamber
and omo so omo de bibi e ka ho
omo ma ban ya omo ma governance ya fotodo aba na me ti opposition kra me da so justice and they be there because of performance track e be check for ado deal o ma Jesse one setter how to say is this something government celebrates what kind of mediocrity in here one Jesse so the Amazongo community aba now even in green book no
over 160 1D1F and so
even in green book no in green book no KVIPs are a commission here me DC from the commission KVIP crowd member me DC no say your project KVIP toilet na me fan chame and about me I'm not commission KVIPs because they have nothing to show within the 8 years. This is the government that when your resources power 3 oil wells. Yeah, we jump 2 additional oil wells account. 3. Yeah, oil second 2 was the musical. You journey in our mom. Abaya enya goodwill pa, and they have nothing to show. We did capital intensive projects that pays for itself. The interchanges. Akweje interchange here what Obechebi the one hand your friend is saying Abuso kind your friend is saying Obechebi don't mind John Mama this cannot all and I own circle John Mama Pokwasi John Mahama fly over here what Islegon bridge I say John Mahama Major Mahama John Mahama Gifford Road John Mahama Labadi Beach kwan here Labadi Beach enemy John Mahama some man crime on project ben on my all the major projects are still on we now manager mama this cannot one more. Let them tell us as a government secure do na baby deal one semono then on there apart from some of the toss sardine every one no they ben pa no my then the parties are kese the champagne are kese and the private jet are kese and on the high they ben pa no my And so this government cannot tell the people of Ghana, say, only Ghana for dini. This is the government, Ababema Ghana for ye, for pa. And your situation in 2016, and you are worse off than you were in 2016. And I hear Adom FM, if you were paying that same amount in 2016, you were better off in 2016 than today. You're too pay more now because of inflation rates. You are worse off. And the city to dollar is saying. If you peg your salary to the dollar, and they're saying dollar do 14 cedis. So what would this government tell us? How are you differently? I say it's renew our mandates more. This is the worst government. Almost profibia means kakitocracy. It means the worst and most incompetent group of people governing a group of people. You can't incompetent. This group is super incompetent. This is the most useless and most incompetent administration Ghana forever. Never ever. Kufadu will go into the history books as the worst president Ghana has ever seen.
We are walking in ano. Mejidi se mobeka abanyi onyade e na omo homodin na omo nye competent ni nyina no begina 7 December se electoral commission anka se bi assistant bere ye de to abane sa na ebekọ na abanu ebeto no sa bere na ebekire eno so ne mu preparations amo ye de kọ abatuo mu no mekai 2020 before aye be kwa abatuo no mu yete complaints ahoro amo ye na electoral commission hihye ye omo ye nyina no ya de omo imagine say omo de be wi abatuo no sa na ye de kọ ye na yes na
omo wi aye so
moko court no ruling ankyere say omo wi aye
because the courts did the people of Ghana a great disservice.
Yeah, court 2024 abatuo mu say me ka say me kan complaints ahoro ya yenya from ho against electoral commissioner na no cry dem say almost 35 questions na mo dey my electoral commission omunyia no omu BVD machines ahoro ayira laptops ayira omu answer questions na aba na electoral commission calendar omu dey aba no inse so omu dey be my year parties na omu dey come media ansa na omu dey ba ye hono sa complaints ahoro no I don't know enya na mo ye in 2020 year bi na mo ye
is it you was said as a political party so we'll hold the EC accountable. Electoral Commission has been put in place so ombebu akonta ma me no ye ni ama omo adwuma me no sika na editi omoka so they are there to serve me now. And the first group they are serving the people of Ghana. The second group is the political parties. Because without the political parties, there is no electoral commission. Without the people of Ghana, there is no electoral commission. So, Jane Mensah, Bosman Asari, any appear, they are there to serve you and I. First and foremost. It is a baby to see what I said, yes, a bit crazy. We started by asking, say, we were in an election year, 2024. As at March, now electoral commission and found the timetable and previously under Charlotte Osei, Kweja Ferijan, by the first week of January in the election year, not the year in the program about one thing, because political parties must plan. You know, who time over registration, time over exhibition, time over transfers, so that political parties who are active stakeholders inside enterprise, no, they be planning almost schedule. But the incompetence of Jane Mensah, as at March, we had to hold 2 different press conferences, calling on her, say, timetable or not check. And you see, it even got scarier. Or yeah, this is assembly elections, no. They know who quiet also. Quiet fast here the last assembly election. You boon a thought, no. Yeah, shanty there. I did try way there. People get to polling stages almost like candidates are here, and Niema, mobilize for only to get to the polling station. That is a ballot paper samba. Is that what we wanted to happen on 7th December? It would have been chaotic. The security of Ghana would have been at stake. So, as a responsible political party, and knowing how incompetent Jane Mensah is, and how she's exhibited herself, no, we need to hold her accountable. And that is what we started by doing. Apparently. Now, last year, around May, say April, say June, not equipment's idea registration, be crying, not Jane Mensah to me, Ghana for money. It took the NDC and a whistleblower to inform the NDC say equipments ni bi ayira say ayira say they akwose baby because per our investigations a diner egumu no is only one entry. The door was not broken into.
A diner machines.
Omuchi police will be go Adabraka. Police what I'm sure no so.
Whistleblower and information or the man. Machines ni na egu faako.
Me say machines ni good. Me say ayira no.
No, one region and I say different places.
Is it the Electoral Commission is not being honest with the people of Ghana? Unim the NTR. Because omuchi police officers are no more share guide the Electoral Commission. They don't go Adabraka. The building was not broken into. So how did the machines get missing? And the Electoral Commission itself say this year the EC has been inconsistent with the seminar Wakafa machines. The NDC had to hold a press conference. The national chairman. And he say there is a problem. And that machines need to be ayira. So we need to be with this year. Not genuinely machines ayira. You're quite packed there. What stopped you from even telling the people of Ghana, say, we've had a break-in, your machines need to be ayira. So if we raise these issues, they're legal. And it falls within your remit as a political party to raise the sensitive issues.
But
district assembly elections.
Investigations say but
last year June, almost 1 year. Last year June. You know how sensitive elections are. Machine back problems between the Abba. And you see Sankenopa. Yeah, quite district assembly elections. Unim ze ni pani be bring amo echo polling stations omo di amba. Unim nesa. Ni pani be bring. At the last check, yeah, all the tire you know, over 26,000 names are missing from the register. I'm telling you on authority.
Yeah, they bet about 2024, you know.
The register now, I'm the people they are not changing the register.
The old one,
limited registration for assembly elections. No, or compare the new register now, that is the 2020 elections there, no, and the 2023 assembly elections there now. It's become one register. Now for 2020 elections register now, there is a disparity of 26,000 plus names. 26,000 plus names. And I don't register anymore. And the Electoral Commission is telling you and I nothing. And you know what that means? On election day, 7th December, Uba could do polling station. Wouldn't so do register? We do not do anything. Which means Tuaba. And it cuts across certain sensitive regions. I don't want to give all the information here. But regions are a predominated NDC regions. And you think we shouldn't raise the red flags?
And some information
and you see
my presenting to the Electoral Commission say ya call ye ni ehuni nipa be empema duonu nsia
in the coming days
because ya mo kamani ehun Pablo say region B. Yeah, NDC be strong.
But that is the truth. But that is the truth. During the district assembly elections, people went to the polling stations and nobody didn't register anymore. And that is what warranted.
And only one region, and I say regional.
People went to the polling station. Assembly elections are non-partisan. So when we talk assembly, we don't talk about regions, strongholds. What I say? In Crawford, Kosomo Kotuaba for assemblymen and women. Nobody register. And so it raised red flags for people like us in the NDC. So and checks no. 26,000 names are missing. In the coming days, we will present that information to the people of Ghana. We will show the names that are missing, the regions they are coming from, and the EC must tell us why those names are missing. So all we are asking is, it is time, an independent body like Parliament conducted a full-scale investigations into the activities of the Electoral Commission, so that almost systems, you better auditing it thoroughly. Before 2012 elections, Kabia Sarache couldn't be before calling for an audit of the Electoral Commission, and it was done for them. I'm ready to say calling for an audit of the Electoral Commission's activities. Their whole systems must be audited because our machines are now wait me and Bogana farm and yes, our machines are we cannot sit aloof. Especially when we know people like Apia, our commissioners who wear NPP t-shirts. There's no pin secret. Boss Manasara Apia, not me a Tescom patrons. Everybody knows. They go against the law. Because even at the district levels, presiding officers, foul. Now, Dima Party be Aboma, foul. And the good father blatantly disrespected the people of this country. And our point to be said, Boss Manasara and the Apia, who are non NPP people. So I'll tell you.
Pablo ma memfa omanfo adwenkyerɛ bi na yɛnkɔyɛ no mabusua yɛba Facebook na madwenkyerɛ yɛ amode ato bi ene yɛne the national organizer ma NDC amanyo
me pay problem
ene nkiye nwie kura no afrɛ eti national youth organizer yami baby awo bia gafra enteste ene national youth organizer ene no ewo burning issues dwumadie so George Opare Ado Pablo ene no asi adwa na Daniel Wusu de ya wode aba mute no na waya ama ene no eba mienu mute ne enkoye no Nshaba Anel Kade ya ode aba o se ebi wa mechia manwumre na ka che Opare Ado ma me se enye ntiatemu asem ena ye de win elections se mampani dada John Dramani Mahama so obewini elections a ebayi a ne ebeboa no ne se ombetumi akasa ama to Ghana for asum na Ghana for sunim the poor performance a NDC abreso muputi ne app eti wei ka che ne se dada no a ne wo ka na dada no a na chia na mame na chia lawyer Jerry Ahmed so mame Nshaba Anel Kade ya odi aba no Daniel Owusu o se akwia me ye NDC amanyokuo no meka ho nanso kwaku anyido ho a wonka ho ntimento aba oso de no na kwaku baby akwaku ne nam sese ya oso afi na chese yenkofa kwaku mra ansa no ato aba ma NDC okwanwa nana bo ache de ya wode aba nana bo ache se wose akwia enti Pablo Peso kire se mampani dada John Dramani Mahama chese adwuma a wobeye na wanwi a na se edin pa na wantumi anwi wonka me entie no an oguso ken na school kid din GH o se kwia ka che Pablo se propaganda man hwe ye beku ewo opposition na Kofi Pon Isaac o se mehwemu fi Saperman kwakubo nsam junction na happy birthday enkoma honorable K Bedu wo se nchia enkoma na ifokwasi wo se kwia insurance bet Dr. Muhammadu Baumia incoming president onso ne de yode aba eno no yeboa Emmanuel yeboa one Helena na mo preso ewo ha no ahu wo se nanado Helena Pamford se nanado ene MPP amanyuku no chese sika wo se sika Gold Coast investment omo ye no waji sika no akoye investment aboka na they say o se mampani na abeje free Gold Coast investment mampani akwadwo musika Rocky Save Opare o se akwia chese udini ye trinity ebeye NYO ana NYO ne ye hwan mo unu ama me terms no na Rocky Save Opare o say always proud to have you as NYO na say national youth organizer o se chese o mani age se udi o manim na oche agona nkum o se bi wai mechiamo na in fact NDC amanyuko no enye party okay NDC a party na his excellency Schwarzbein edin de mudi biba o se medenchia free central region anomabo na eba na bi wai up to now unim say Pablo wonka ne omobeya ama mabu na ewo Ghana ya feel comfortable ye pese ya feel comfortable mente no wo Pablo ensem wo kanu omo policies no wo sha ase wo ka bi wo sha ase wo ka bi ba Pablo o se ne be ma mabu na feel comfortable o se
boys abre
o se comfortable ono ne odi aba no o se kwiam slow bisa no mame youth no dia no mbe ya ye ho bedwe yen yakoma beto ye yem na mojojo dia ye odi aba o se Pablo fire on o se ye beto MPP amanyoko nde set ye bia December 7th be you afri ho na Samuel Abobi o se bi wa mechia mo anwumre na kacha aban ne se omonka nokro muni nokre keke enkyere Ghana fo dum so no omomienti ase se dum so na aba yen energy sector no so ma nka nkyere nokre wo mu ame anti ase a so mara aban zenu ene odi we efri Victoria mo ose mehwe mo ena eja bata Putin also edifi suhum ena airbus e bi wa mechia mo na according to MPP performance tracker no omuso ma upgrade suhum Kofodua road anso bre suhum Kofodua road na behwe entokuro enti sa suhum Kofodua road no omuso ma ye no wo ma ye na ntokuro na bamu ana sa de pa no mpese omuka na na mafo apia ose Dr. Muhammadu Baumia emfa ho ni obi abeka ono any the best you betumi aboa ama oman no atumi akọ nanimu eti adwenkyere ne de omanfo edibi aba na namafo ne his excellency de yode aba his excellency o se akua kache Pablo Semete ha me twa me question no answer no on famra ye pese ye ho dwe ye mabunu ye wo Ghana eja comfortable o da so gina mu se ohia ne ye beboa no na Rocky or say the 24-hour economy from JM or say akua enwumre Pablo achirem pefe eno ne the game changer ye beboa ama oman no atumi akoso nchemu so ene wode aba enwumre no abelenu nwa so adwenche ye ode aba o say akua kache opare Adom me se wini se wudi nkoni mu obibi mu no enya no ene ye de donwere eye won hyehyɛ ya de begu akwan mu wasɛm a bɛka bɛtɔ asum eti ni nyina no ejina December 7th na ye behu sɛ bɛyɛ wo mu sɛ bɛyɛ mampani abedi achie Dr. Muhammadu Baumia o ye behu ne ebesie ne de yode aba eno no eti Pablo won sɛ youth ne de America no ene wo hyase sɛ o kasape na youth ni nyina I am very attentive. Obia per se. I quite remember be bosumi news say obi frɛ me bisa me. Na kuya chada no wo se den. Ka won kana semi ye na me ma ye word. Na say na den ya na person o so mi dem abrem ye ni nyina. Eti youth no obia ye focus say den na mo wo ma yen. Wo say wasem aka nyina ni o kan say den na be ma ye ho adwe yen. As youth no eno na ade egu wo no
is when the economy is working not say unya abanya obe set the enabling environment sabi ye bizaza o ma me ne ho papa ne ho na oye Ghana ni nko when there are opportunities everybody is entitled to it. I don't see why young people will not thrive. What's you say it is oye bebunu now person thrive here. It's just one solution. The solution lies in the NDC. Because the NDC is a government or a bar. We don't care where you come from. We don't care which tribe you belong to. We don't care religion. What the NDC cares about is Ghana. And so we should create an environment and also we dream our wasono a bit me abemu. And that is what President Mama is promising, that a better Ghana for every Ghanaian. Yes, we want to build the best. See Ghana now. Wo peno. Is oye bebunu na obese unye jumaya. Fa untuma bebo NDC ano. Oye bebunu na obese usuku seme koyia. Fa untuma bebo NDC ano. Oye bebunu na obese usians ano ejuma. Fa untuma bebo NDC ano. Yeah, the entrepreneurship program eba yebe training entrepreneurs. Niya support so it's all in our manifesto. Fa untuma bebo NDC ano. So obese obiye wa unsano ejuma. Obese go into agro processing. Obese go into farming. Osheye program for farming for young people. The land banks are here proposing in EMA. It is the NDC that has the solution to problems that are confronting now. And I have solutions, no. And yet far-fetched. And yet promises are, and yet rocket science. And yet promises are, and what's the ABBA day? And yet everyday solutions, practical solutions, feasible solutions, and they are proposing. And we are assuring the good people of this country, say, the NDC is committed in building a better Ghana, building a Ghana you want. Ghana upeso huno, any pesi esima.
Jenny mo say, ABY, what be Sir Pablo question before toda sɛneɛ ɔmusi ebogya dede electoral commissions for so ɔmu wie a na wo ka sɛ 2020 abatro no mu ɛha wɔn ɛno aso no ɔmu yɛ nti bisa Pablo ma me sɛ ne ɔmu yɛ nti sa nkoyi ama ɔmu a ɔmbɛsa akɔkɔɔto anaasɛ sɛn efisɛ ne ɔmo pɛ ɔmo firi nnɛ sɛ electoral commission wia wɔn electoral commission ma ba no nyɛ free and fair nti ɔmo ayɛ ready for court anaa.
Me a lawyer, but I have no confidence in the current Supreme Court when it comes to election matters because of how the last one was handled.
Hey.
Oh, of course.
Nti yɛto aba ne wie na nti ase ayɛ ma mo
court. We will win the elections at the polling station by hook or crook.
Ɛno no yɛ ne yɛbɛwi ni ama ne saa mo nkɔkɔ.
Yɛbɛwi.
Sɛ nneɛma
nkɔ there is only one solution to this 2024 elections, and it is win and nothing else. In court, we would declare the results at the polling stations where the results are supposed to be declared. And John Dramani Mahama will be declared the president-elect of Ghana. And on the 7th of January 2025, your best way President Mahama. Nothing else is going to change. And I've said this time without number. And my main emphasize it being, Ghana this year, that's in Yameya Adom. Now on the 7th of December, unya kwenya asoko ye adwuma electoral commission. And now saving, so you keep the peace. Oye police officer, oye military, oye denyo. Now unya adwuma na kwenya asoko ye adwuma, kona koye we adwuma. Cause crime and expire. To everybody okwa electoral commission adwuma, one man, one vote. Memo bia attempt to say okoye obi bidden. Ensi we ye. Because you see, who their course for different assembly elections now, the Ghanaian people are poised for change. And to me, Mobia and Adrian say, Okoyeket as a shep proyebi. Now Okoye bibi no ako done 6 to 9. NC. Ya 2 abana 5 o'clock. You be kind of pepe. Now Oma bomb hosa for him. Say ye Lucy cry hand over the yes remuka. Ubia ni ono mo. Now Ubia be macho mi okroma no mo. Obia be manche obia ye be ka ba no pepepe ye be declare results obia be man ni oye oba na make say ye be ka ebi no say omo hand over mutwe ni amaye ne akuya adwuma ye be ye no it will produce only one resource and that resource is John Dramani Mahama as president and we will be vigilant and woe unto any man born of a woman oba betna police station so oba be wagadrebi eti yen hwe ni sei wo say ne e ba ye adweso de no adweso de afiri na no ye bisa mo amode ene ekoye meeting kuro susu mu wieda ye wo 15 days or so for adweso ye mo nkwa na because maami a owo ho maami a moyi ne dadai sa obe kokore wo so ye campaign party no so de ye ba o ya oye campaign eno ye 2024 ye wo ye candidate de dada enti mo be kwa na mo nkwa adweso ada na mu ntumi nka say ye be koye nko is the politics is serious business. It's an investment you make. Say what they can tell be consue. Now on fashion by there. Obeko. So unko. The NDC have not said be quite just one say unko. We are still consulting. Yeah, sure also. MPP yom candidate and yen Dabenom yom candidate yen Dabenom yom candidate yen President Tikonya 6. Memory da. Ochna ye be share fake. Ye share Tuesday be when we meet at fake, we will come out with a communication. Nothing you huni pa ene kwa. Ba say we hu Benedi kan bu ye say wo de kan ten be konsuo na wunya hwe. Na say mo nko. Da bi me ka say enko. Me say. Ochina ye be sinkonya. Na ye nya hu nipa omode na eba. Afi ne hu nipa ye de na eba. Afi ne say assess. Ne ye hwe say akunya ye kun will it be profitable or it will not be profitable. Yeah, assessment. Na ye kun o say ye kun. Ye be kun. Then you're quite swore fast one because at the moment you're 137, almost 137. 136 is your John Kumero. They say the co-parliament and you're 137. They say I cried a technical any majority. Independent in a way. Who's on the independent on parts be on your bad decision making. On your minutes, now by your kind MPP members of parliament on your 136, 137. John Kumero, yeah, madam for John Wu or any media. What I say. So technically any majority. It will not change the dynamics in the face of parliament. What I say. say you win you, say you lose you. It will not change the face of Parliament.
Nyame mfasa ama nyame mfasa nyame mpangu bonsam fefra nofton a kamuntumiri kan say hu ne mo ye no
as nofton ye sita etiso
eno na make
so it will change me ba
munkoto dwemu emre
say 137 na nyame mpangu nofton na any of your seats ni fima it means it changes our face, it changes our numbers. This one, it doesn't change our numbers, it doesn't change our face. You win a bonus. But you cry 137.
Ma me fa frɛ for ba ku mienu bi na kyese yemfantu apo 0302216561 0302216562 abusia yene national youth organizer ema NDC amanyoko no na ewofie ha George Opare Ado Pablo ewofie ma me fa frɛ for di kan hello
everyone
eja
na o ti se numere
Adom na o so
nyame Adom unyu abema abanya me kasa fra shamazenu
yo aban mi enti
edu ananse unu mi ndi yo me ka asema nu nsi kura na wa yi efri so
aban ye de bre na ye adwuma wo ba summarize wa
election aye ko no ebi wa election aye ko no 2024 election aye ko no December yi me abanya mi wa hai eye mi mbada ati na mi kwa akotu ho aba o enti mi man nkrofo bi o mo di o mo mbia ba be bokro nu wo ma we mo jesika ma o mo mma ensa mbra mbetre o ma nu su ma dat mi ni mi ma ye mbebre o mo bo bi sia ye hu de o mo di bi sia ye no mi 2024 election na mi ko no mi kwa ko mi ni mu say election mi ko akwa ko face president bi o ye notorious rebel leader enti ni election na mi ko mi police station there mi ko make sure say me ni ko da ho u ye UC officer na obet na ho na me yakan aba na 10 na ko 12 inde oni mi be
yeah that's aban hello
Ebiwa nyame asu yenka nyume
enka so menua udin ne ba bia frefre
Ebiwa mbaso Obama ni mikase face hum
yo Obama mi entie o
Ebiwa mamembo wabaso na minchia me MP obofo ko Santi na minchia eye Robert Lamte Madina efeno okumkom minia kache Pablo say studio no okoena wankoka hwe ankyere Ghana fo nembon okoto
wono wan chehwe nti nyabotre da bia mekase me had a communication wasam no betima fira no se ne opese kan no
24-hour economy e wo dada when you policy and the break Ghana fo ni fa no twemo
o se 24-hour economy na yeden
wan hu nkyeremu no woni policy bia nti we enye policy because ade ton e won kan memu no ye gi de say me no ka say afi na obi ba be hidwa abeton ade ma ade achi enye sa ne de e wo dada we ade for from Ghana for me fa no twere ho na o ka say electoral commission omo ye friends asem elections na din be 26000 NFP friends voter register nim enye no kware na onim say tama ye churu din no obi o hono ma okona say kiwu e wo be auto na ba na wa ko be for churu din Iti otoko the police station wakoto aba no obeko na din system because be akotro udin no e ho code e na obenya iti se okọ na se bia oto wa aba no that's one register ho no anya dia udin be ba sa register ni what just
yeah that's it yeah ni electoral commission for beto aso wo sansem no e ho yeah that's it hello eja udin be bia free
apom tidan
Adom na so e
ya me Adomo
yo eja yenkwan
yo ochiri ni aguna inkum
yo eja chiri mi enti o
yo edin kan agwa west ya do bibiase ya to ya banewi anabo case ata ya me nkano na sister ndc fuem na wanka se otum dada wo ho ipe se obisa papa yo ho pa se iti odidi pa se wanka se ade potsi dem pa na se woba we so bi ka se on chile idwuma bi wo beboa edia youth no ana se ade a obetum woba wo beboa youth no we ntum anka asembia ne oka ni se obebu no ombisa mi se edem pa na mahama ba yo bi dwuma den obebi edwuma youth se ndisi wo agu we ni supawo na de ma wre ho ni se we so aka bibi se aba ni chinchinia se wo yini ubisa ni se ni se wo yini a obeyeden no aso oka kire we kire se nkofo no adwen to ko adwen ko na wo ntim na Ghana fun ye ready pass okoto abama President Mahama dabi obi
yeah that's it ochi hello
Fanjiwa
eja my phone chato
hello
eja
yeah evening
oh.
yeah me rap is here go
Mpacho say.
Me Ralph me say me say go.
Yo, me enti waja.
Everywise. So who say Ghana for brepa?
Ghana.
Una skamem nyina fa Ghana ho nyina anu ase mi kwada. Chale mi hwe mu ni na mu so Ghana for bebere mu bre. Very why? Where about go to who say about you first scholar. Anyway, about go to no anya go crowd. Who say for ni for say people are desperate say omu nya kan na ko omu to ebi about egu. Mean that now. Everywhere. About to December 7 anya go and you no time because akupo do say what dey more. What do you 100%? Only about me now, only a topo, any coffee at Tanya. Who said I say, oh, anyway, no, I go share Senate. And then I know who share on your TV. Most of second or the Bia.
Yɛdase agya miɛmfa wo sia sɛnea woka no ɛno nti na da bia yɛ mate aseɛ sɛ wokɔkromoti na ɛyɛ otumi on say na aka sɛ mabunu no benya na nka na yɛ to aba ɛso bere ne nson yɛ a woyɛ ho hwe enye yie abantuguo so de ɛna wo try uti ate eti ne wo sɛ ne ɔwɔ yan sɛ ɔboafu ade hyɛ dem na twɛn 7 December wuntimi nya hwe nti sɛ wo kɔto a na wo hu ba bia wo to akɔ Pablo ye ko ebere no enya so emre no aso eti china wo say effect behia wo hu ana china na mbehia no eti china decision because ehia ye pa pese hu
ya de beba hu nya
se mo be kwa adwusu se mo nko eti after meeting no ye be pie mu bia no na ma me ya
me hu release bi ochina nurses ni midwives association omo ma we school ochina omo TS about
omo ma we school omo da so fi
no so fi from 2019 2020 2021 20 5-year groups ochina mo TS about demonstration mesra by way I'm sure because Shenya so do baba school area because traditionally nurses need for there and carry adwuma da ho twen ntina na e bonde omo no mesra by way na ochina wo ye nurse ni na otifie na wo ni adwuma ya mesra wa ko county anu ho na montin se ko ko
e the nurse for demonstration wo na we propaganda ya wo from say o montin si abo
because
say we nurse
say me you organizer be am tin da bi o mu gumi office come dey o man kakra
George of Adom national youth organizer ma NDC amanyu ko say on the baby youth wo bi o ho youth 40 na want say ba ntie bi onu nko ate asi montin so say supporter say one man demonstration so e youth
ochama ko ka de ho
ko kwa na wa say supporter yeah, say George of Adom na wate ne nka no NDC national youth organizer Emma Amanyuku no yedana say nwumre obeka ye ho sada so na Franco Trading Enterprise so yeda wase niema odi abadwa so de da bia me ka cho se papa Franco se wutimi ye adwuma wo bia adwuma wo